I'm not sure. In other words, was it a bunch of folks saying, hey, let's ask these interesting questions that led in? No, and I mean that. I mean, like, I really think it is an interesting question. Is President Obama campaigning too much, or is he president? Do you see him as a campaigner or president? I think that's a very interesting question. Should it have been right in front of the health care question? I don't know the answer. I'm not a pollster, but my point is, that's more like the AP. How did they get their sample wrong? I mean, I'm not prepared to. I know we're all Fox this, you know. I just don't. I have a very high opinion of opinion dynamics, and I don't think the Fox News organization necessarily went there. I don't think that's what happened here. And again, I think the message to progressives should be, who cares? Let's dig in. The White House, let's get the votes. Let's organize for a public option. Let's do the things that we think are right. And who cares whether there was something wrong in the AP poll or the way Fox asked its question?
Well, I think, and that's why I wanted to have you on about it, because to me it seems like this sort of comes with a foghorn on it in terms of Republicans being cautionary about it. I'm not saying that. I don't. You're saying we're all supposed to be Fox News. Well, I don't. Wait. Let me. You made it. You sort of cast aspersions on me.
No, I did not.
No, you did by saying we're all supposed to say that Fox News is X. I actually don't have that sort of opinion about Fox. I think they're a fairly diverse organization, but in this case, I think that the fact that they have become the de facto news organization of the Republican Party, that the Republican Party takes their information disproportionately from Fox. Is a problem if what Fox is doing is telling a conservative audience what they want to hear.
Two things I would say from being in this business a long time. Democrats and Joe Trippi will be pumping the AP poll to high heaven for the next week.
Sure.
Republicans will be screaming about how great the Fox poll was and opinion dynamics. And it wouldn't matter. It'd be switched. If AP had it the other way and Fox had it, and opinion dynamics had it the other way, we both grab on to whichever poll makes our argument to the American people.
Right.
So we're all going to do that. The other thing I'd say is this is the most complex issue I've seen in my career in politics.
Healthcare. Not push polling.
I have right now I've seen polls for people I'm working for in which it's impossible to tell them what, I mean, just as without malpractice here, what the hell they should do. I'm talking about Democrats, because there really are, in these districts, it's complex. There are people who want public option and are going to vote against you if you're not for it. And there are people in that district, Democrats, who are going to vote against you if you vote for public option. And I'm talking about people who really are on the bubble here. So I'm talking Democrats. So you've got I've seen, it doesn't matter where the poll's coming from. I've seen data in Democratic races that show this.
And all I would say is that if you ask somebody, is the president an apologizer when he goes abroad, and then before you ask him that health care question, you're not going to get health care answer.
Rachel, I totally understand what you're saying about that, and I don't know, and I don't know that Nate knows for sure what that battery of questions actually did as you come in, because when you look at them, some of them are actually interesting questions beyond the implied bias that I think you or I might see. I'm not sure it's there. I think it's the question: is he a campaigner, or is he president? Is if a majority of if a majority of people think it's campaigner, that's something the White House should listen to. Sure. We may be done here, but what I've learned in this business is when you hear an argument that works against you, that's an argument that's real. In other words, if the argument so you've got to go work harder to knock that argument down. That's what we need to do.
And push polling is a dangerous form of campaigning that makes us distrust these forms of surveys. And I think the fact that we're seeing it from the RNC, from senators like David Vitter, this has become a direct mail tactic on the right, and on the left to a certain extent as well, but more so on the right in a way that makes people distrust these things. I think is bad for the polity.
Absolutely, push polling's bad.
Yes.
I'm not willing to say that's where opinion dynamics is done.
And that's where we have to leave it. And I'm really glad you were here, Joe. Joe. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. It's
Very
good to see you.
Thank you.
Joe Trippi, of course, is a veteran Democratic campaign strategist. Thanks for your time tonight, Joe.